So Kevin came down and we did a couple of videos, and this will be one or the other. So this intro will be for both actually. We talked about the Hi-Def NES a little bit, and we also not really talked, more ranted about some reproduction parts that I bought from Infinite NES Lives. And mostly I want to apologize for the camera angles and shots and stuff like that, because one of the cameras I'm working with has a broken LCD screen, so it's really hard for me to see what we're shooting after I've set it up initially. I definitely need to get that fixed, and I will. I'm looking into it. But also, it's just, I guess, just because he was here and I was more focused on what we were talking about than what the actual camera was showing me that I was shooting. You know, occasionally I will change it and whatever. But enjoy. I do have 5 volts there.
Okay. And what?
It's got a power supply built into it.
Oh, and
it's not the greatest.
yeah. Wonder how much current it can do.
I don't remember.
If it does an amp, then we're probably fine. But yeah.
We just throw a regulator in it?
I'd rather not. I guess we could, if you have that test unit and you take the chips out, I guess we can solder the wires on there. Because I got it all kind of rigged up. Oh, you have an HDMI cable already on that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I brought mine just in case. Sure enough.
I want to try this thing real quick.
Okay. Get your meter out. Let's see. Just make sure I do it right. Don't want to blow up all my.
Good.
I'll step on those.
Big fuckery back here. I bought this thing and it's 220 and I didn't know it.
Oh, really?
So I have to use this.
Oh,
to power
okay.
it.
Yeah, that's just like the one I have, only mine doesn't have the meter built in, but it's got this and then the iron. I like that. I took the iron off. I'm like, you know, I'm never going to use that.
Yeah, it's sitting over here. I'm not going to use it either. Trying to turn this on.
Oh, that one on.
Turn this one first. There you go.
Nothing. Oh. Maybe it don't work. Oh, there it goes. For some reason that's not doing anything. I wonder if that's like ground or something. Yeah, I'm not using it. Look how much ripple there is on that. 1.3 volts of ripple. Nope, not gonna use that.
I probably only use that thing 10 times ever.
Oh yeah. Thought about bringing a supply, but you know my supply is huge. I do have a smaller bench supply though. But I guess if we just take like a NES board, just pop the chips out, I can put a little solder to it. Plus and minus. Just solder it on the bottom. Actually, you don't even have to solder it, do we? Just take the chip out and just plug the wires in the holes. That would work. How many amps is that?
1.
Okay.
You want to use an original one instead?
No, that'd be just enough.
But, you know, this is a cheap Chinese switching power supply.
Uh-huh. Well, it's going through the regulator, so.
Yeah.
What do you
Original
use
regulator and cap.
to, you use to pop the chips out? I don't want it. Oh, chip extractor.
It's junk.
It works though. It's
Yeah.
better than a flat blade. Cool.
These little ends always bend out.
Yeah.
Never did find a better one.
Yeah, I cleaned my room upstairs too at home,
Oh my!
so it's all
Can't wait to see that.
yeah, it's all nice and clean. You can actually walk around now. Okay. Good. I always just do that because it takes what, a minute to test it and hours to fix it up if you blow it up.
Why couldn't you just put the CPU and PPU interposers on here?
I guess I could. Yeah, let's try it. It's true. Didn't even think about it. Nothing says I have to use my board. Good to test it on another board anyway. I'm sure it'll work though.
Right.
I've tested it on a top loader, so I know that works.
A top loader?
Yeah, or front loader,
I was
sorry.
gonna say that's exactly what you have on there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, obviously it's been tested on a top loader. Yeah, that'll probably even work better because those sockets are a lot tighter than the ones I have. This is two. I have the two controllers because it makes it a lot easier for me.
Right.
Player 1, player 2. And that should do it.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Apparently my TV does not do the resolution.
It doesn't show the it doesn't show the resolution.
Oh, there it is. 720p. Which is what you got set on, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, now
And if
this.
you put it on 1080.
I can't change it.
Oh, you gotta be at home to change it?
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Now the fun part. I should use the power cycle and that'll work. That's gotta work on the resetting. It usually works most of the time with a regular cartridge.
So you think it's the power pack?
Yeah. Well, it's my resetting.
Try that one.
I need to fix it once and for all. Yours has a darker label than mine does. It worked once. There it goes. Pain in the ass. Let me try mine again. Mine's got the test stuff on it. Oh, there it goes. I hate that. And then I reset it again because I'm waiting for it to. Yeah, that's what it does on mine too. There we go. And I'll load up Mario too because then I can play with the settings easier. I think that's one thing I didn't like about the Power Pack menu, but I know why it does it. The thing I didn't like is this controller will also go through the Power Pack menus too. You know, both of them will. Why?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I see.
Looks like it's working. So scaling, I'll turn that off. That's interesting. You can see that pattern on there.
Yeah, it goes a little wonky, but
Mm-hmm.
it looked really nice at the lower dip.
Mm-hmm. That's locked to the NES scan lines. It's probably because the monitor's over scanning. You know, it's actually over scanning that picture. You have the remote for that? Let's see. Because if you put it in pixel by pixel mode, it will actually fix that. Not sure where it would be. Picture size. Oh, here we go. Full. Okay, that doesn't seem to change a whole lot.
That's what it was on.
Oh, what the heck? Input select. Okay. Enter. Menu. Enter. See, enter set. Not sure what the difference is. I'll have to cycle the power now. Because when it switches inputs, this detects the HDMI went away and shuts down.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I got it. That's one of the other things I just have to do. PC setting. Oh, it's not going to do a whole lot of good until it's running. Come on. At least that monitor comes up really fast compared to mine, which takes 10 seconds. There we go. Yeah, see, watch if I go through the menu, see, on the second controller, it does it too.
I've never noticed that. Of course, I
never use it, yeah. Okay, so actually that's fine. I'll see what happens now when I change the size.
Whoa.
Yeah. Let's see, back. Film mode. What's that do? PC setting, dynamic noise reduction. Want any of that? There's something there. Oh. Nope. It's as good as it gets, okay. Mario 2 again. Yeah, that's gonna be the problem with the scan lines. Oh, that looks a bit better. You make them a less scan liney, it looks a little better yet, but still looks kind of meh. But that's all based on the monitoring. There's not a whole lot I can do with that. Palette. Don't want to select the palette. I have to power cycle it again. It's gonna have this cropping, so I'm gonna cut that crap off on all the edges. So that works. The bottom one I gotta fix. The bottom one works, but since it only takes away 16 pixels and the NES is 240 scan lines, 256 minus 240 is 16, so it doesn't look like it's doing anything.
Right.
So I'll fix that. But I just wanted to get it all in there. So none of these chips are on. Oh, that's broken now. Great, I broke it. That's what I get for not testing it. Yeah, that's working. Viewer doesn't do anything. Settings and about don't do anything either. I know why that broke. Okay. Yeah,
So you think the auto detecting of chips is out?
It's out, yeah. There's
That's
no,
bad.
it's not that big of a deal. I think with the power pack and the EverDrive, they should be able to tell this thing what chips to use. So I think that'll probably be good enough.
Think so?
Mm-hmm. This is a translated version. I played through this
Is this
over the
recently
weekend.
released, or?
I think it was released a couple years ago.
No, I've never heard of it.
That's a pretty fun little game.
But you said you can turn all the chips on at the same time.
You sure can.
So there's no reason to auto detect.
Yeah, there is, because if you don't, it'll sound pretty funny when some certain games write to those registers thinking it's the mapper.
Oh.
That's why.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that somewhere.
It sounds really funny, yeah. The Book Worlds. I thought it was a really fun game, but the thing that kind of annoyed me, that bookcase number 3 there is actually not a level. It just some guy like appears down there and says, "Oh yeah, I've already completed this one for you," so you don't have to do it. And I'm like, no, that's kind of lame. I hate those scan lines. I'm gonna turn that off. There.
It depends, you know. I guess on the monitor.
So a lot of people like them, so I mean that's why I said
sometimes I do, but
yeah,
it might really start becoming a factor when we get into really big TVs.
Yeah.
You know?
It looks pretty good on that one I have at home.
Yeah.
This 720 with NES like scan lines looks pretty good actually. One thing I was kind of annoyed on this translation, it mashes all the letters together. See, there's like no space between the letters.
Right.
That's just the way they did it. I think they did it just to get enough text in there, because since they translated it, they needed more room for the English, I think. That's a pretty short game. You know, I beat it in a couple hours, and I never played it, and I wasn't cheating because I'm playing it on a real system.
Right.
I mean, I guess I could have used the Game Genie cheats, but I didn't. Yeah, this came out pretty late, like 91. That's probably why they didn't port it to the US.
When was the last game released? Wasn't it 93 or?
Yeah, it was Yoshi's Cookie was the last game. I'm not sure when it came out though. It was long after the Super Nintendo was out.
Wasn't Lagrange Point the last Famicom game?
It might have been. It was very
Weren't
late.
we talking about that? Like we looked it up or something.
Okay, yeah, I don't really remember.
Or was it Crisis Force? Remember we were talking about?
Oh, it may have been Crisis. Oh, the Crisis Force was the last Konami shoot 'em up.
Oh.
That's what it was.
Official releases anyway.
Yeah.
They're still making.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw a Grand Theft Auto 5 Famicom cart.
Whoa.
I don't know what game they threw on there, but I guarantee it wasn't Grand Theft Auto 5.
Some hacked up version of some old NES game.
Yeah, that's usually what they do. Giant feet. Yeah, this map feels pretty good.
Over here, I like it. Over there, I don't.
Oh, really?
Because I'm always trying to move stuff around.
Oh, and you can't
like
move
pieces
it on
of paper,
this?
it just grabs to this rubber and you just can't move anything.
That's why you get the one with the texture.
Yeah, now I know that, but
because it's the smooth.
They were cheap enough, and I'm not too worried about
it. Oh, it feels pretty. It's cold. That means it's silicone.
Yeah, it's definitely rubber, but I don't know that there was a textured one on eBay.
Oh, really? I'm still looking into it. I think I'm going to have to get the 3M stuff just to be sure.
Well, there was somebody selling 3M stuff on there, but it was ridiculously high.
Yeah. I don't know if I would really...
I don't think it was a dimension. Some of the dimensions wasn't what I wanted, like maybe the depth that I wanted or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I'd always be worried. I don't think I'd buy it on eBay. At least me.
Well, he has a...
Oh, he's like a website.
Yeah, he's legit or whatever, but there was plenty of other ones that were not
Oh,
2-layer, silicone rubber. They were all the vinyl crap or whatever.
Oh, crud, I should have brought my ESD mat tester. I have that tester, and you set it on the mat, and it tells you, if it's good or not.
I've actually got somebody really concerned about my safety with this.
Why is that?
Because I hooked these up to the neutral wire
Yeah.
on the house wiring.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, you can't do that. He's convinced I'm going to kill myself.
I don't get any conductivity at all. That doesn't mean a whole lot. That's why you have to use the mat tester, because the meter sometimes won't pick it up.
Right.
Because this will read pretty high. Should read up to 40 megs probably. Yeah. So yeah, that's what the mat tester.
The bottom
is
layer is
for.
supposed to be conductive, right?
Usually no. That both layers are. But see, this
I
is
thought the top was dissipative and the bottom was conductive.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, the bottom's conducting. Yeah, that's pretty low, so that's good. So like I said, that could very well be normal. Without the mat tester, you really can't tell. But I bought at work. We bought some mats from M.Koenig, and they sucked. They didn't work. The mat tester said they were open circuit, and they weren't conductive. The bottom wasn't even conductive. I tested that. Yeah. So I was really disappointed with that.
No, the guy made sense about how if there is a big load on that circuit that you're connected to, that you could have.
You could pull the neutral up and down a little bit, yeah.
Right, but he's saying that he said I might have the potential of having 60 volts on this mat. I'm like,
no,
there's no way, because I've got a 1 meg ohm resistor between the mat and the neutral line.
Yeah, that's good.
And then he was like, well, you can't trust that resistor. I'm like, well, you're probably right there, but I'm not going to accidentally ground myself from the mat to anything here that's going to...
This is how you tell if it's safe or not. You hold one probe, put it on AC volts, and you probe your neutral or whatever with this. And if you see 120 volts, it's a bad thing. So I got 0.3. Nothing. Now put it on the hot. See?
40.
Now put it back on the hot, and I'll touch your hand and watch it'll go up, because the capacitive load's going up. See?
65.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's if you want a quick check if something's hot or not, you can hold one probe and poke with the other, because the impedance of this meter is 10 meg ohms or more, so that's pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it if you're in a basement or it's wet or something, but just as a quick, easy check, especially if you felt a tingle like when you touch something. Like I had a friend who had arcade machines, and every time I'd play the arcade machines, I kept getting shocked. And I was like, why the hell do I keep getting shocked? And I put the meter on, and there's like 100 volts on all the metal of the arcade. And so we took the wall plate off, and the electrician didn't hook the ground up. The ground wire was sitting there, and it wasn't wrapped around the screw to ground the outlet.
Really?
So we were getting leakage through the transformers in the arcade machines.
Yeah, if I had the option, of course I'd hook it to ground, but this wiring in here doesn't have ground.
Yeah, you're kind of screwed. So
I mean, he said most people run a ground wire, and I'm like, well, I probably should, but I don't plan on really rewiring this house.
Yeah,
I just want to bulldoze it. So.
Yeah. Is this got a crawl? This has a crawl space, doesn't it? Because I saw that video you did of covering the hole up in the crawl space. I guess in worst case, you could always drill a hole through the floor and just run a ground wire, that way if you really wanted one.
Yeah. I mean, I could potentially just put a grounding rod right outside this window.
And just run the wire in.
Run a wire somehow just through the wall. I mean, it's just solid block wall here. Who cares,
Just get a masonry bit and get the wire through, yeah.
But I'm not so worried about getting shocked or anything like that. But then he started talking about you lose the dissipative capabilities if you're on the neutral line because of all the voltage on there. And I was like,
I don't know. I think it's pretty safe.
I don't know either, but
I think it's probably pretty safe with the resistor at least.
How would we even test that to make sure that it does?
Well,
build up some static and go over here and touch it, and if it dissipates, then we're good.
Well, we're pretty much, yeah. The way I check them at work, and the reason why that Jamco one sucked was the one I had before. I go like this, and every time I get up out of the chair, I just have my hand on the mat, and then I went I would never, I was not electrically charged anymore, so I could touch doorknobs and all that, and I wouldn't get a shock. But with that Jameco mat, I'd do the same thing, and I'd get shocked every time. Touching doorknobs and stuff from the static.
Right.
That's how I got the clue that it wasn't working right. And then I got out the tester, and sure enough, the damn thing's just open circuit. So.
Yeah, we've traded back at least a dozen emails about this because
at
first I was like, whatever, dude. I just thought he was some jackass who thought he knew it all and didn't. But then he started really going into detail. I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, it's for what you're doing, it's probably fine, but yeah, it's not like the best way, but for what you can do, it's probably, about as good as you can do it right now.
It's just enough to get by.
Yeah, because, you don't, like I said, you don't want to rewire, and, that'd be a pain in the ass anyway.
Well, and it seemed worse in this part of the house because the crawl space is only enough for you to actually crawl. On your belly.
Mm-hmm.
In that room, it's a normal, you can be on your knees and crawl through that, but, oh God, it's so bad over here. It's just dirt. There's no gravel. Nothing. It's terrible. Bulldozer. Get the fire department to come over here and test run.
Yeah, do a test burn. Yeah.
They did that to my dad's house.
Oh, really?
It was interesting. They had fire departments from like surrounding 4 counties or something.
And they came over just to do the test burn.
Yeah, they started with straw bales.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was straw, just to fill it with smoke, and just go in and practice finding their way through an unknown house. And then they finally lit her up. They put holes in the. It was a 2-story like 1900s house. They put holes in the roof, and they actually lit the fire. 5 coons come out the top. Of course, we hadn't been living there for a few months.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
they weren't
they
there.
Knew they'd been there for a while or something.
Yeah.
But still, it was interesting.
Yeah, I remember where when after we moved here. There was a house up the road. They did a controlled burn. I watched them do that. Fire departments all came, and
it's gotta be cheaper, I would think, than trying to.
Otherwise, they got a bulldozer, and then you got
to take it away.
Yeah, so when you burn it, that reduces a lot of the bulk.
Although, let's see, I don't remember. Oh, somebody was selling a furnace on Craigslist, so I went down and talked to them here in town. And I got to talking to them, and they actually bought a house like catty corner from them. It was an old rundown piece of shit. And they were tired of it being rented by really low class people. Lots of problems, So they wanted to buy it and demolish it. And when I heard that, I was like, so what would you sell the whole house for? If I moved it off your property. And they said, well, you can have it for free if you move it off there. And I was like, oh my God. The problem is they were getting ready to demolish it like 6 weeks later. I had no time. To gather up the money to make that kind of a move from over there to here. It wasn't like the greatest house, but it was a free house. And I was like, man, could you imagine moving a house? A free house?
Yeah, I've seen them do awesome. That. It's pretty cool.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to know more about it because, especially when you go to downtown areas, Shelbyville's no different. You go to downtown houses, they're awesome. They're beautiful. There's no parking. You move one of those houses out to this lot, and all of a sudden, you double the value of the property because you have this amazing house, you have a fairly big lot, garage parking, dead end road. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. Man, that was off tangent. So, got any timeline updates?
Not really. It's.
What are you thinking?
Probably another couple weeks. I just want to make sure
until we do another prototype or start really testing.
Or? Probably to start testing. As you can see, I got most of the softwares done now, but now I'm just in the bitchy part. All the loose ends.
All the polishing.
Yeah. So I gotta do the settings screen, about screen, and where it says resolution, palette version, all that. I gotta make that actually real. And do that elapsed time, make that actually work too.
And we're talking about maybe in the about screen just having a serial number for each kit.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I was rereading one of the first posts that I put up about it. And there's a bunch of changes I need to go back and do.
Yeah. I should probably
read through that. Well, I can still say something about auto detecting the chips, and I can't remember what else I was reading on there that needs to change.
And also, let's say I made the menus wrap around, so that's a lot nicer.
Oh, the console or the controller console reset.
Oh yeah, see, that's another thing I have to do. Yeah, I just don't have any of that on there yet.
Is overclocking still on here too?
Yeah, actually the overclocking software is written, but there's no way to access it yet.
Okay.
So you'll press like select and up or down to overclock, underclock. Like that. Right now it's just the A button, just to make it easy. But you can make it anything you want, but I just made it A. It'll be select and left probably. It'll be default.
Just a 2-button access?
Yeah, well, it's on controller too. I mean, you can put it on controller one. So I mean, if you want like A, B, start and left or something, you could do it. Make it selectable. So I mean, you can make anything you want.
I think most people use select and start and then one other button.
Yeah, you can do that.
Something about, well, you're going to use direction and A, B during a game, so you don't want to accidentally go into a menu or turn play.
Yeah, well, that's why I was using select, because most games don't use it.
Right.
Most games, if you select, you just press select and then something happens, like you go into a menu or whatever. You never usually hold down select and hit a direction. That's never hardly done. But if you're playing a game where it is, you can put it on player 2 controller, or you can, have it say you have to press A also or whatever. So basically, you can have up to 6 things you have to hit.
Oh, have you done any Zapper testing yet?
No. I can't find my Zapper.
Can we do it now?
Sure. I'm sure it's not going to work, but we can try it.
I'm sure you need to look at it a little bit better than what we can do here anyway. Like maybe scope it out or see just to prove what's going on.
Well, the problem is it's just how long it takes the monitor to display. That's the main problem. The other thing too is the Zapper really needs that 15 kilohertz pulsing from the CRT to work. That's part of the problem too. But I mean, we can try it. I got Mario Duck Hunt on there. Yeah, I really got to fix that too. I just haven't done it because I've been, busy doing other things. Those are your chips on there.
Yeah, just seeing which ones they were.
Yeah, the 8, the G. That's what it does on mine. Usually it's faster than that. I know why it's doing it. I gotta fix it, and I just haven't done it because I've been. You can see there's a pulse of the breathing. I'll probably take that out and just make it flash, because that's. There we go. Because that takes up a lot of room on the on my ROM for that table to do that. Wish the power pack menus would get fixed. Oh, that's right. On this one, my mirroring is fucked. Shouldn't you be able to shoot the screen to make it work?
I think so. It's measuring misses.
Yeah, it can't detect it.
Some people were talking about maybe the monitor needs to be one of those special monitors that has really
Yes,
low.
that's correct. That's correct. That's part of the problem. The other part is it checks for the flashing, the strobing as it scans the screen. It checks that.
Oh my.
So the Zapper itself does. That's how it can determine if, that's how it can detect this monitor versus ambient light. Because, if we're in a bright room like this, the Zapper would still work. Maybe it's really dark in the room, maybe it's really bright, so that light has to be, they have to get rid of that light so they can see the screen, and that's how they do it. It looks for the flashing. And since an LCD doesn't do that, it doesn't work. So that's the problem. There's not really a lot you can do about it.
I know a lot of people were getting excited about that, and I got me excited too. I was like, man, that did work.
Uh-huh.
That'd be epic.
So, I mean, the two things that have to be happen. You'd have to modify the zapper somehow so it doesn't look for that strobing anymore, and then you would have to have a really, really fast monitor. And then it might work. That's the problems with
That's
it.
worth a shot.
Yeah. Well, I'm not 100% sure I could figure it out. You know.
Put that one on the back burner.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many other things to worry about.
Oh, yeah. We got more and more projects coming up every day, seems like.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, after this is done, I'm not sure what I'll do next. You know, I was thinking
I
about
got a pile of stuff for you.
like what?
Well, you already got your multi-system.
Yeah.
That's what to go with. And then we were talking about doing cart shells and PCBs for
Yeah, I don't know if we'll do that now.
retro stuff.
Seems that market's kind of saturated.
Seems like it's getting there, doesn't it? But Paul, NS Labs guy, he's got a whole list of all the mappers on there, and less than half of them are stuff that he offers.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, I can always do repro boards, you know, for more exotic things.
I say we could do that immediately.
Yeah. The other thing too, I was thinking about making my own flash cartridge because you know the power pack and the EverDrive are. You know, I was actually expecting a lot more out of both of those. Since you know I've been using my FPGA NES for so long, you know I'm just used to everything working right. You know I want to play that game, I want to play that game, and it just works. Well on these, you know, if I want to play Lagrange Point, it doesn't work on either of them.
Yeah.
And so that's why I had to settle for playing the NSF of the music, is because I couldn't actually play the real game. I was really disappointed with that.
Well, you're also talking about doing an NSF cart.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand what you're talking about. What would the difference between your cart and just putting NSFs on a power pack?
Well, with my cart, it would have all the extra audio built in too. So you wouldn't necessarily need my HDMI adapter.
Oh, I see.
And it would be a little more compatible because I have a bunch of NSFs that crash the power pack player.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Actually, I can show that off. They're on there.
You still got room for the visualizer?
Yeah, see, I ran out of room on my ROM on the FPGA there, so I started moving stuff off into the flash memory. So like all the menus now are all on the flash memory. So that got me back a lot of ROM space. So I think I'll have enough because I really want that visualizer on there. That's one of the big things I really want.
I'm sure a lot of chiptune guys will be all about
yes,
it too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's what I really want. Have that on there.
What about the built-in copiness?
No.
Definitely no.
No, definitely no. There's just no
room.
There's just no room, and that you know the FPGA is so full now. You know I'm at 98% capacity.
So what about getting a bigger FPGA?
You twist it around there, or you dog bone it. You dog bone it.
Yeah. What about putting a bigger FPGA on it?
It would cost a lot more. So
but would it cost less to have that and also have a copiness put on it?
Well, you can't really put them both on. You can't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
otherwise, I mean, I guess you don't really need HDMI.
What, for copiness?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like having a special version of this that just does copiness?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I could do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the use would be, but I could do it. Because a regular...
Well, I'm just trying to think what would be the advantage of having HDMI with your copiness NES.
Oh, well, it'd just be an all-in-one system. That'd be the only thing. I think copiness is kind of... I don't know, it's kind of outlived its usefulness for the most part.
Everything's been dumped.
Everything's been dumped, pretty much. About the only thing it's good for now is dumping all those, you know, exotic new pirate cartridges, pretty much.
Right.
You know, like that, like I said, that Grand Theft Auto 5 Famicom cartridge. I mean, it's like, what the hell?
Where did you see that at?
Someone was talking about like crappy rip-off systems that looked like other systems. Like, oh, I remember it was with a PlayStation 4. It looked like a PlayStation 4, but it was a Famicom.
Cool.
Yeah, and it came with Grand Theft Auto 5 as a Famicom cart.
Huh. I'm gonna track that one down.
Yeah. Oh, maybe on PlayStation. No, I think it was a PlayStation 3. It was a 3 or a 4. definitely. But there's also, I don't know if you've seen one like there's like the Poly Station. It looks like a PlayStation.
Got one.
And you lift the lid up, and the cartridge port's under there.
I don't think mine has a lid though.
Oh, it does have a lid.
I don't
The one
think
I
so.
did, so I did.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one's pretty old now because the PlayStation's like 20 years old now. Something obnoxious like that, if you can believe that.
I don't want to.
Yeah, 94. That'd be about right. Yeah, because I saw something that said the PlayStation turned 40 or 20. Yeah, not that old yet. I mean, that board is pretty nice and small. So the other problem I discovered on my front loader is the 7805 just can't handle it. Actually, this 7805 is fine, but that's not with the stock power supply. The 7805 overheats on my front loader.
And shuts down?
Yeah, I had it shut down. I was like,
See, now we were having this conversation, and you were talking about putting in the modules,
yeah.
switching modules.
But I think I'm going to build it on my board.
Oh.
It'll only be like that big on the board. And you don't even need that regulator, no heat sink, none of that.
So you're going to power the whole NES
Yes.
from the HDMI board?
Yes. Feeding power back through the ribbon cables.
My.
That was the idea anyway. So I was going to make the board very slightly longer, probably about that much longer, and then just put the parse over in the corner. I mean, and I'll have it set so you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but it's there if you do, and I really highly suggest using it.
Well, then we kind of run into the problem of what we do with the Sharp Twin
I don't know, what do we do with the Sharp Twin?
when we're trying to put one of these in there.
You have one?
Mhm.
Can we open it up?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Oh yeah, if you want to see it. Here's what happens when an NSF crashes, by the way. That's what it does. One of various things.
This is the one that I bought specifically for us to take.
When the controllers are attached like a regular Famicom. I should have brought some discs over.
I've got one.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah.
I got about 30.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Got a pretty big regulator. What's that? Oh, PPU. They decided to put a heat sink on it.
Remember I showed you the one?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it came from.
Oh, okay. Oh, go like that. Well, how's that work? I was looking at that. I mean,
Here.
oh, okay. I was like,
Oh, I
you know, I was
can
like,
push on
yeah, I
this.
was like looking at this. I'm like, well, how the hell did this come up? Well, yeah, there's a. What is that?
The switch?
Oh, there's a solenoid on there too. What the hell's that solenoid do? Prevent so you can't. Oh, when you're playing FDS game, it won't let you stick a cartridge in. Oh, okay, that's interesting. And they got that little solenoid on there for some reason. Oh, it's to stop you from
Opening it up.
Yeah.
I don't think they all have that solenoid.
Oh, yeah?
Like.
Yeah, because it comes out the end right there. Comes out right there and unblocks this from moving. Huh. That's kind of interesting. Yeah.
So if you do put the power stuff on the Hi-Def NES kit, we don't have to use it, is what you're saying?
You don't have to use it.
I see.
I'll have like a solder jumper or something. But I mean,
So you're thinking on top loader Navy Family would be fine, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, it can output like 2 amps without a heatsink. So, I mean, and like I said, it's literally like that
You're
big
okay
on the
with putting
board.
that much power and current over the ribbon cable?
Well, a lot of the current's gonna be taken up by the board itself. So then we're probably only gonna put half an amp over it. So that's fine. You know, there's 4 powers and 8 grounds, I think. So you know, that's quite a few. And I'm gonna get custom ribbon cables made that will have fatter power and ground anyway, because I want more signal integrity. Because those ribbon cables are expensive, and you know they work, but they're not ideal. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why there's 2 crystals. Oh, I know why there's 2 crystals. They're both the same frequency too. That seems silly. 2147, 2147, because this one's connected. There's a crystal like this inside the FDS cartridge, so that's for the FDS and that's for the system.
You mean the part that comes up and plugs in here?
Yes. Yeah, that's basically this part of that right there. That's your cartridge right there, your FDS cartridge. Is that part right there. And then this part's just your Famicom. Yeah, there's the... Oh, this one has the 4 DRAMs on it. See, I have one that has the 4 DRAMs and one that just has the single DRAM. A little bus controlling there to turn it off when you're not using it. It's got an eRev CPU on it, probably an eRev PPU on it. RAM chip. RAM chip there. Another RAM chip there. Yeah, because
the old bodge wire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's interesting. Wonder what that's for. Oh, that disconnects the drive from the board when you're not using the FDS drive. I think something like that. Not 100% sure. So this must power everything. This big transistor here. Yeah, they didn't use a 7805 on this, did they? That's funny. It's got a discrete power regulator on there. Wonder why they did that.
More power?
Maybe. Well, 7805 could handle an amp, and that's more than enough to run that thing.
You think?
Yeah, that drive doesn't take a lot of power. That's just a tape player motor right there. Yeah, I'm pretty good at fixing those drives. I've fixed about 5 or 6 now.
I've never had one of the original ones.
Oh, really? I got 3 of them. I was going to sell them once I implemented FDS on my FPGA. I was going to get rid of them.
Right.
And I want to dump all the discs, too. Because I've got some pirates that are kind of weird. I have, like, Sexy Invaders.
Cool.
A porno Space Invaders clone. Why they made such a thing, I don't know, but I have it. So I want to dump that, but... Interesting. Yeah, it's about what I expected. I mean, I've seen pictures before, but it's pretty much what I expected. Just literally an FDS and a Famicom just shoved on the same board.
Think your interposer will fit in there?
I don't know. Yeah, it might. Yeah, I think it might fit in there. It'll be really close though, but yeah, I think it might fit. Why did they, it's so dumb. Why did they always heat sink the PPU and never the CPU, since the CPU is the one that gets hotter? Never been able to figure that one out. Maybe they...
It's like you offset towards the card slot.
Oh, do I offset the wrong way?
But, yeah.
Pin 1's towards you, I think.
Oh, I was just going by that notch. So yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think pin 1's towards you, isn't it?
It would be the same oriented as the CPU, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, there's video right there. There's a transistor for it, and there's pin 21.
So yeah,
pin 1's right there.
You would be offsetting
The wrong way.
the right way.
Oh, the right way.
So yeah, you might be good.
Yeah, if you may have to just solder it directly down without the socket, and then it would probably fit. Yeah, 'cause there's quite a bit of room in there. I mean, there's more than what it looks like.
Give it a shot sometime. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's why I bought that one. So
Okay. I guess you could always take
it's
that.
ours to play with.
I thought you always could take that cart throat off. Yeah, I guess you really don't need it.
Just for looks.
Yeah. Or I guess if it worst come to worst, you could cut a little bit of it out over here too. You'd probably never see that. You know, looking straight down, it'd be pretty hard to
I guess
see
it does
that.
kind of aim the cart. Those little gussets right there.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to put the cart.
Right on it, yeah. Yeah, I think it probably would fit. I wouldn't be surprised. I like their little diode array there. Those little river arrays are kind of neat. I see those in a lot of things. These river branded SIP arrays. Sometimes they have really funny parts, like if this is like too small, they'll put either 0 ohm jumper resistors on there, or they'll put infinite resistors on there that have 3 white bands, for maximum resistance. They're open circuit. So I thought that was always kind of strange. I wonder if they laid that board out by hand. I think they did. It looks like it.
Well, the traces are nice and curvy.
Yeah. They're not totally even. Like when it goes around the corner, they're not totally even. I'd like to see someone do that sometime. If anybody still does that.
I have no idea. I don't know why anybody would.
Well, before computers, that was about all you could do.
Yeah.
Well, they work on that at like 4 times, so this board would be about this big, when they're working on it, and then they shrink it down to make it. So they don't lay it out 1-to-1; it'd be too hard. So they usually lay it out at 3-to-1 or 4-to-1, depending on what it is.
That would be some interesting stuff to watch.
Yeah. At work, we have some of that. The really old stuff we used to make. I still have all the layout films, and you can see where they put them on there by hand. It's like pieces of electrical tape that's really thin is all it is for the traces. Then the pads are just pre-made like donuts, and you just stick them down and connect them with the electrical tape thing.
Weird.
That's it. It's kind of a pain in the ass if you have to rip up and retry. On a drafting program it's easy, but you literally have to rip it up and redo it if you have to redo it on your board. Another I thought was interesting, they always, let's say there was a problem like this blue wire they had to add here. It was easier and cheaper to just add that wire on every system than to redesign the board.
Looks like the main board will fit right about there, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's nothing under there, is there? It's all open. There's a boss right there, but there's a lot of space in there. They still included the stupid microphone. I see the extra wire right there. 5 wires and then 6 wires. Yep, there it is. There's a 4069 hex inverter that they're using as a microphone audio amplifier in here. At least in my Famicom, I took the controller apart. Yeah, I still think that attached controllers was a really dumb idea, but I guess it's a good thing because if they weren't attached, they'd be gone probably by now.
Well, and we're still talking about Japanese culture, not American culture, where
True.
I'm sure most Japanese kids are sitting
Like,
an arm's length from the TV.
I never really had an issue with the length of the cables. It was just them being attached was kind of a pain in the ass.
Maybe it was just a cost issue. Well, I mean, they put it on the AV Family. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, 'cause the AV Family's just got regular controllers. You see that? Didn't they ship the dog bones with it?
The Tylers are attached too. Yeah, the Tylers are permanently attached as well.
Well, these are just regular Famicom controllers because Famicom has these exact same connectors inside. At least mine does.
Yeah.
The 5 and the 6. But I'm still trying to figure out what the hell the use of the microphone ever was. Other than like the 2 games that used it.
Just another gimmick. I mean,
yeah.
If you think about it, the Zapper was only mildly more successful than the microphone. How many Zapper games are there that are amazing?
4 or 5, yeah. And I never really cared much for the Zapper because, I mean, yeah, it's fun to play Duck Hunt for about 5 or 10 minutes and then I'm like sick of it. And I guess one problem if you ship one of these with an FDS drive, the little tray can go in the down position during shipping, and then you can't put a disc in it. So then you
It's got an eject button on it, doesn't it?
yeah, you press the eject button, it resets it. But some people don't know that. So if you sell one on eBay, you gotta be careful. You probably put that in the auction. Otherwise, someone will say, "Oh, I got it, and it won't work." It's because they didn't hit the eject button. Yeah, the release numbers in there. And the other thing that's kind of funny is it has a micro cassette recorder playhead is the head on there. That's what that is. It's for a tape player, which I always thought was amusing. I wonder if the belt's good on this.
I bought a bag of belts just in case.
It looks okay. I can see it. Yeah, replacing the belts really sucks because you have to realign it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never done one.
Yeah, because what they did, the belt is underneath the gear train, and you cannot get to the belt without taking the gears off.
Right.
There's no way. I mean, it's such a poor design. They did that on purpose, I think. There's no reason it had to have been designed that way, but they just wanted to be assholes about it, I think. So, I don't know.
Make it a non-serviceable part.
Yeah, or you had to send it back or whatever. Like, oh yeah, it'll work for about 4 or 5 years, and then we'll just, you'll have to send it back. But see what Nintendo was doing. You know who TSR is? He had like a website, NES website. He doesn't really update it anymore, but he lived in Japan for a while. He gave me his FDS, and that's where I got my Lagrange point cart from. But he was living there, and he got a FDS, and the belt was bad, so he sent it back to Nintendo, and they fixed it for him for free and replaced the belt. Sent it back to him. So and then I got it out and was playing with it, and the belt was bad again, so I bought some off of eBay and replaced all the belts on my systems.
What year was that when they were still replacing them?
96.
Really?
Yeah, 96 or 7. Well, they just, it was just 2010 when they stopped selling Famicoms, I think it was, or fixing them or something. There's like a post on the internet I saw about that. They're like still servicing that stuff all the way up to like 2010 or something insane like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny because this is the same little wire thing that they got on like the Super Nintendo.
So the NES RGB finally has the original Famicom kit.
Oh, it does?
Coming out now.
Yeah, isn't that a pain in the ass to put it on though? Because you gotta like cut routes and add all these wires and stuff, right?
I don't know about cutting routes. You have to cut some plastic
On the
around
bottom.
the cart throat or something like that.
Oh, okay.
On the top shell.
Oh, on the top shelf?
You have to remove the eject mechanism.
Okay.
So it's no longer even in there.
Okay, so that was his solution. That was just to remove the eject
I
system.
think so.
Well, see, I saw someone had modified a Famicom with that RGB board, and what they had done is they had actually mounted the board where the modulator is, and it still had the eject mechanism in it. And they like bent the chip pins upside down and connected wires to it and stuff. I was like, geez, that'd be a pain. That's like one of those things you do if someone pays you like $300.
Yeah, somebody wants me to do one. I said, yeah, I'll do it. It's going to cost a lot extra. And it has of course, it has an adapter board to move the NES RGB like up and over closer to the cart's slot.
Okay.
But it's still on top, so the eject mechanism has to go. But yeah, he has a whole new board.
Okay.
For the power and audio.
Yeah.
And he has built-in switchless palette.
Okay. How's that work?
Well, he's wires from the power audio board all the way back to
one of the controllers.
One of the controller pins. I think it's like 3 or 4 wires. And
okay. Okay, that's basically what I'm doing. On my system or on my mod, I'm actually reading the controllers as the game reads them. To do my menu, which is kind of a pain. One thing on the NSF player and the power pack, it does not read controller 2, so I can't get into my audio menu, which is annoying.
Say that again?
Well, it doesn't read controller 2, it only reads controller 1, the NSF player.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's easy to fix, but yeah, see, watch. So what that means, basically. like play one of the NSFs. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, so you can't you can't go in the menu.
Interesting.
Because it doesn't read this controller. It only reads this one. Like change that. So, that's easy to fix in the player. You just read this controller and just don't just throw the results away. And then, because I'm picking it up as it reads. That's how it works. So the game must read the controller from my menu to pick the key presses up. Because I'm just piggybacking on the bus as it does that, and I'm watching the data come in as it reads them. So.
Well, that'll be changeable until you can use the controller one.
Yeah.
So.
And then as you go through the menu, you'll be going like this.
Right. Of course, if we pause the game, then we're probably not going to use start to get into the menu.
Yeah, you don't use start, yeah. So that was the whole idea with holding down select and hitting left, is because that won't usually you can pause the game and then do whatever you have to do, because I don't use start at all in the menu.
That's probably a good idea.
Mm-hmm. The only thing start will be used for in the menu is resetting that timer. That's all it'll do, which is a good thing, because if you're doing a speed run, you can pause the game, and when you hit start, it unpauses it and starts the timer at the same time.
Okay. And the menu's still up at that point?
Yeah, and then you hit select and it goes away. But,
easy enough.
Yeah, so I figured that's better than nothing. So yeah, I gotta add that timer. That timer's super easy to add, I just haven't done it. Because I've been working on everything else, so, I gotta get to things when I get to them.
Probably getting burned out, aren't you?
Yeah, it's okay. It's to that nagging part of the project where, all the fun stuff is done, and now you gotta go back and add all the little pissant things, like the overclocking, make sure it all works, and make sure all the menus work, and there's no bugs, just the final bug fixing.
Mm-hmm.
And I still got some major problems, like that reset issue I gotta fix, but that'll be pretty easy to fix, I think. The reason it's doing that is because it pauses the NES side while the HDMI catches up and it gets them in sync. And while it's doing that, the CPU is paused too long, and then it crashes. That's what's causing that. So that's why I have to hit reset enough times until they line up just enough to make it work. So, yeah, I can fix that. I just haven't done it because it's going to be a kind of a pain in the ass, and I've been wanting to work and fix everything else first. So,
right.
Some of it's a power pack, and some of it's the my resetting. Because, like, if you use I'll put that test card in there. That didn't work the first time, but works most of the time. A lot more reliably than my power pack does. So that's what. But obviously I'm gonna fix it, so that's not a big problem. But, that heat sink's barely getting warm. It's a little warm.
Heat sink.
Yeah. And the other thing is, when it's in the case, it gets really restricted too. But then the other thing, we're only in 720. When we're in 1080, that board draws about 100 milliamps more.
Wow.
So, that just blows the heat off of the regulator even more. So that's why I'm thinking about doing the regulator. Yeah, see this this chip right here? That's good for 1.5 amps of regulation. That little baby chip.
That when we were
Yeah.
populating it.
Mm-hmm. That's what's supplying all the power for that entire board is coming out, going through that little tiny chip. It's a 2.5 megahertz switching power supply. It's pretty damn cheap too.
And that's the one you want to replace with the two.
I'll put another one on that board. So there'll be 2 of those chips.
Oh.
One for 5 and one for 3.5.
And that one's the 3?
That's 3.3 right there, yeah. And then I got these are just, then I got, off of that, I got these linears for 1.8 and 1.2. 1.2.
So if we put the 5-volt regulator on there, can I get rid of the main?
Yes, that's what you.
1500 microfarad cap?
No, you still need that because we still need DC to run it.
Yeah.
And that cap's supplying that DC. filtering the DC.
Filtering it.
Yeah. However, the good news is that cap won't probably ever go bad again because you don't have the heat from the regulator there anymore. And it's going to draw a lot less power too. See, if you're drawing an amp off of that off of the regulator, you know, you're drawing an amp in through your power plug there. But with this regulator, it'd only be half of that about. You know, because that regulator is about 90% efficient. So if you put 10 volts in, 5 volts out, you're only going to draw 500 mils in and an amp out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's why it's just more efficient. Because that regulator there, if you put 10 volts into the system and you're using the 5 volts, literally exactly half of your power is just being wasted in that heat sink.
Still gonna have to have the diode.
Yeah, well, you need the
bridge.
bridge and the filter cap, yeah, because you need DC to run it.
Have you ever heard of a MOSFET version of a rectifier bridge?
This does that. A synchronous rectifier.
Yes.
That's only for switching power supplies, pretty much.
Oh.
What it is on my board, it's a buck regulator, and instead of having the flyback diode, it has another FET on there. That's what makes it more efficient. Because, you know, diodes are, you know, they drop, you know, some voltage, and that voltage multiplied by the current is how much power you're wasting. So,
right.
You know, Schottky diode is probably about 0.8 volts. If you got an amp going through that diode, that's, you know, 800 milliwatts of heat right there in that diode, you know, you're wasting. So you put a FET on there and you drop that loss way down, and heat goes down and losses go down and efficiency goes up.
Yeah.
So
it was one of the things I was looking into when I was doing all that heat research way back in the day. And I found something about it, but I never found nothing more than like theory stuff, you know.
Yep, so this uses that. This actually uses that.
8 years ago or something. So.
Yeah, I've never actually really seen very much active rectification for 60 hertz stuff. I'm sure it exists if it's like really big. You know, we're talking 10 amps to 100 amps or more. I'm sure they do use active rectification in those cases.
But there's probably not a drop-in replacement.
No, definitely not. Because you need all sorts of control circuitry. Because you got to watch the power, and you got to switch the FETs on and off at the right time, you know, to make it work. That's how they do that. You know, the FET has to be turned on when the diode normally would be on, and then it has to be off when the diode normally would be off. And if you don't do that, you know, it'll blow up, or, you know, something bad's going to happen.
Sounds like another good project.
So, yeah, using the switching regulator on this would probably be the best idea, simply, like I said, because, you know, the amount of heat generated in the power supply will just go drop to near zero. So, you know, you don't need that heat sink anymore. No 7805.
I'm not convinced. I had one, and it still got hot.
Then
But it wasn't.
Then it was a shitty design if it still got hot.
It was a Mauser drop-in replacement, but I don't know. I don't remember who made it or
Oh,
anything.
did you put a cap on the output? Because it probably needed a cap on the input and output.
I mean, other than the 1500?
Well,
Or
that
the,
1500's no good because that's for like 60 hertz or 120 hertz. That's not good for a switcher.
No.
You know, it's got to be low ESR on the in and
No,
out.
and that was another thing I did. It was like 8 years ago,
Mhm.
so God knows what I did.
That's the big gotcha on a switching power supply. You got to have those low ESR caps, and people are like, oh yeah, well, you know, I got this cap at Radio Shack, and I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna work. And the other
That's
thing,
interesting. I'd like to go back and retry. I've got that
You-
thing sitting around here somewhere.
if you find it, let me know and tell me what it is, and I'll look it up.
Well, I mean, I've still got it saved in my Mauser account,
Oh,
too.
okay. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, did you read the data sheet, or did you just drop it in and hope for the best?
Back then, I was just, I was still learning.
Hoping for the best.
Yeah. Well, I just got my first FLIR thermal camera, so I was just
Okay.
messing around. And
Did you drill the holes for this?
no, I'm waiting for your HDMI connector. I want it to be a good video, you know. Just drill the
Oh,
holes.
okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I gotta take that off. I took that off of the silk screen already. The name that shall not be mentioned. I don't want to give that guy any more business after he was such an asshole to me. Actually, you know, there's.
Yes, I know that story.
Yeah, what? I didn't tell you that story?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. And he kind of pissed off two of my friends that were getting boards to him, too, so I was like, screw him. I was a total asshole. I didn't know you could make little things like that.
Oh yeah, little projects.
That's cool.
No, that's the build. There it is.
1 in 5818. Okay, that's a okay, that's a
Damn it. That was some schematic for a build your own.
oh switcher.
I made it, but I don't think I ever tried it.
Oh really?
No, they still got them in stock too. Still the same price.
Yeah, load up the oldie data sheet. It looks like it has a cap on it. Non-isolated. Oh, that's only a 1/2 amp one. Maybe that's why it was getting
Oh
hot.
my! I didn't.
Maybe that's why it
never
was
noticed
getting hot.
That just goes to show you how little I knew just that few years
Yeah,
ago.
click the data sheet.
I did.
It's still thinking about it.
This is a slow computer.
Okay. Oh yeah, and that does have the caps on it. Okay.
Yeah, I was supposed to be just drop it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never noticed the 1/2 amp operation.
260K.
Notice the difference?
Yeah. Efficiency. See performance curves. Transient response. Efficiency curves. 75% efficient.
At 36 volts.
Oh, that's a 36 volts. Yes, you were running up here. Well, it should have still been 85. That's okay. That's about what I would expect.
So it was just the fact that it was
Well,
supposed to be limited to 500 milliamps.
yeah, I think that's probably your big problem because the yeah, there's the diode right there. So this just has a looks like a FET and diode, and probably has some kind of controller on the back. Up to 95% efficient. Yeah, up to 95% efficient until you look at the curve where it starts at 85. Little baby heat sinks. So those are really
Oh,
cute.
this is the switching related part. So
Oh, okay.
it was still getting 112 degrees.
Oh, it's not that hot. That's Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not very hot. That's
Well, I believe it's Fahrenheit. It should have been.
yeah. If that was Celsius, it'd be a smoking crater. Yeah.
So, what was the nomenclature on this one? I'm assuming there's a.
Oh, there's an
one
inductor on the
version.
back. I wonder what chip they used on that. Yeah, see, there's your flyback or your freewheeling diode there, and then that's the controller. Inductors on the back. I wonder what
Did they
chip.
not make a higher amp version?
No, they probably do, but it's not in here. You'd have to find it somewhere else. I'm sure they do. That's kind of expensive. You can easily make
it's
it.
not worth $10.
No, you can easily make that for cheaper than
Well,
that.
and that's exactly why I put together that
Oh, that one. Here, let me look at that up.
the build it one.
Let's see what chip that uses. I'm curious now. There it is. Yep. 5 parts.
That was 2010.
1 in 5818 Schottky diode, cap, inductor, and a LMO. Ooh, a simple switcher. That
Well,
one,
at least that one was going to be at 1 amp.
yeah, I've used that part at work actually. That very part.
Yeah.
Simple switchers, I don't like them simply because that's probably what was on that Murata one too. Probably something very similar to that because it said 260 kilohertz. So yeah, I've used that very part at work. I mean, it's an okay part, but if you want efficiency, it isn't going to do it for you. Yeah, you want something at least 5 watts or more. 5 watts would be 1 amp at 5 volts.
Ranges.
Yeah.
Oh, right there's one.
That one looks a bit better. Hey, it's cheaper too. $4.30.
See what's cheapest.
Yeah, I do that too. That's probably gonna be one of the cheapest.
Spend hours and hours on here.
Oh, I've used that one at work before.
This one?
That one, yeah. That Recon. We use the isolator versions. It's got 4 pins. That's not gonna do you though. That's only 500 mils.
One of these was suggested.
Oh yeah.
To me about using on this kit because he was watching the video and you were suggesting using it.
Well, that's pretty cheap. $4. That one looks. Any of those look pretty good. Yeah, that one's 1 amp. That one looks a bit nicer. That's 1.5. That one's pretty nice looking.
Only these two are 5 volt, and that one's adjustable. The last one.
Oh, it's adjustable. Oh no, you'd have to put. Oh no, you'd have to put a resistor on there. It's not too bad, really. Yeah, those ones look a lot better than that that $9 one. Those are probably a lot faster switching too. So they probably have synchronous rectifiers on them. Especially the ones over an amp, they definitely would. You're just paying somebody to make it for you instead of making it yourself.
Well, is it going to be a cost difference between a larger board size and
probably,
one of those?
It'd probably add about $3 to the cost.
Board and components?
I can't remember what part I used on it. That part was pretty cheap though. Basically, to use it, you need that part, an inductor, and 2 caps, and it does the rest. And a good board design.
Right.
That's an important part. Yeah, you can't prototype a switching power supply these days. Not a fast one. You got to make a board. You're going to prototype it. You know, people try to get those. The thing that always makes me laugh is someone gets one of those white plug-in proto boards and tries to make a switcher on it. It just doesn't work. The strays are way too much. Unfortunately. Oh yeah, when I went to the Ham Fest a couple weeks ago, and I got a roll of that 015 solder.
A couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
You went to a Ham Fest 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Did you go?
You didn't tell me about it, fucker.
Oh, I didn't tell you about it? I thought I did.
Oh, shut up.
I didn't know you wanted to go.
Yeah, I want to go. I've never been to one.
Oh, okay. The next one is the huge one in Dayton, the Hamvention. May. Mid-May.
The outdoors or indoors?
It's outdoors. It is huge here. Well, look up hamvention.org. Yeah, you can probably find some videos about it. Just type Hamvention.
Yeah, I was actually going to look at your videos.
Okay. Oh, I got 49 videos up. That's quite a few videos.
Do you happen to remember how many subs we had before we put up these last videos?
Yeah, I've only gotten like 5. That's it.
No, it was in the 300 range.
Was it?
When I first started looking at your
I thought it was
channel.
like 430 or something like that. Oh, okay.
No, you've got well over 100 subs since doing this.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I was looking at a website today called Social Blade.
Yeah.
That will show specs like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on your YouTube channel.
I didn't know that.
It'll show you. You can actually look up and see how much money people are earning on their channel.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Like PewDiePie or whatever his name is. He's in. I can't remember. It was like
oh, that's hilarious.
the range was really long, but or really wide, but
I don't
it was
have
definitely in the millions and millions.
Oh wow! I don't have monetization turned on mine.
Well, no, but
maybe
I don't think.
Should.
Yeah.
Well, that one video I have has like 100,000 views on it.
Really?
Yeah, the Game Boy LED Game Boy one. It almost.
Oh yeah, you screwed up. You should have.
Yeah, so it's all the way at the very.
I've done 6 videos on the Hi-Def NES.
I mean, like the last one only got like 300 views and 500 views. Yeah.
Okay, so the
first one has almost
the 720 capture videos closing in on
like
6,000.
That's like the shittiest video ever. There's not even audio on that video.
Well, but this one was linked from my video.
Oh, okay.
For one, and I'm just about to hit 7,000 views on that one.
Oh, okay, so I think everyone must be viewing that one then. But I mean,
but this one also was linked in all the threads too. In the first post.
In the first post, yeah.
So, and I've had links or I should say, reposting your Nesbitt post, which had links to all these videos in them.
Yeah, scroll down all the way to the bottom of my list. It was one of the
we can just go right here.
Oh.
Most popular.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, you do have 100,000 views on it.
95,867. Oh, the other one's got 100,000 on it, yeah.
Well, I wonder if your RGB LED is your big hits on that.
On what?
On the tags as far as what people search for.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I try to put lots of relevant tags on there. That Namputer one had so many because that was linked on Hackaday.
Well, look, your capture is already number 5.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah.
5th most watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely need to monetize and polish them up a little more as far as
I was gonna polish up the last video, but after working on it for like 16 hours, I was just like so fucking sick and tired of it.
Now, the video could use some work, but like one of the things I noticed is your thumbnails.
Oh.
They're not very attractive.
Oh, I haven't made any. That's probably what I need to do.
I've read that, or I guess I've seen a video about it. To put your face in it. And then also some
thing in the
text.
Back.
Something.
So people know what it is.
And
yeah, like a title.
Like almost all of mine do that now.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I actually went today and changed my thumbnail for the release video, which was just showing this, and I had that circled, and I went and put a big blue block over all of the middle part and put in there, play the NES in 1080p or something like that, or mod the NES for 1080p, something really obvious.
Oh well, still working on it.
But yeah, I think I might annotate this video. And I'm just curious if a lot of my subs are waiting for videos from me for updates on this, and they don't even go to your channel.
Yeah, that's possible.
Or they don't even go to the threads, because the threads is where we've been updating the most.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I've done is the release video and like 3 videos of us just sitting here or sitting at your house talking about it, and then I did half of the populating of where we did the reflow.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll release the second half of that because it was just a lot of you cursing.
Yeah, I probably don't need.
Well, there's a lot of you concentrating on fixing the board.
Yeah, which is very interesting. Yeah,
there was nothing really being talked about. And I don't remember. I'd have to go look it again, but I don't think there was a lot of like actual close up of you doing anything. So
I mean, there really wasn't a lot to see unless you had a microscope.
Yeah.
So now that I've got all the proper tools, now I got solder wick, I got that small solder, I got a nice really small tip. Fixing that problem I had would have been a breeze. You know, when we had those short problems.
A non-issue immediately.
It would have been fixed in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. Oh well, the board's still working. There's the proof. It's sitting over there running. So after
still the only one made.
Still the only one. I was thinking about making more. I'm not sure I will. I think I'll get another run of boards.
Which means you have to do another stencil too.
Yeah.
So that was how much money?
Stencil was $30.
Oh really?
It wasn't that expensive.
I thought I remember you heard more now. That's not too bad.
No, it's $45. $30 and $15 for electro polish to polish the side walls of the holes so the paste releases. That's what they call it.
Wow.
It's still worth it, I think, versus trying to do it all by hand.
We're using it one time.
Yeah. It happens.
The $15 may have not been worth it, but
yeah,
it worked.
It worked.
So we know it's worth the money to do it for
I definitely,
production.
it was definitely a lot nicer using that stencil. You know, I paid the $45 again to build 1 or 2 boards.
Yeah.
So, you know, at work I made that panel with the 6 boards. I made 3 or 4 sets of those with the one stencil.
Mm.
So that really paid for itself.
Sure.
So yeah, we're ordering those now. So that'd be cool.
Yeah. I'm definitely the hobbyist that enjoys PCBs. It's my favorite part of this hobby.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah, I was looking at
1,
this, I was
2,
laughing.
3, 4, 5 sitting here that I haven't even
Used.
populated or made videos about or nothing yet.
Oh, this is just
Pretty excited about
This
it.
is gold plate or is it just bare copper? It looks like it's bare copper.
Nope, it's gold.
Okay. Yeah, this was, I saw you put that one in the video for it. The region switch.
I haven't done a video about that PCB yet.
Yeah, you did. I watched you put this in. You bent all the pins up on the connector.
That's
and all?
this one.
Oh. What's the difference?
This one's for the Duo, where you have to cut the pins on the hue card up,
Uh-huh.
and this one just lays on the motherboard
Oh,
of a
okay.
TG16.
Okay. What's the 3383?
What is it?
Yeah.
The
Is it 7.4?
terminology is amazing.
What is this page?
CBT 3383.
Can you show me a data sheet real quick? I'm just
Working
curious.
on it.
I'm really curious. Yeah, I was gonna order my boards through these dorks at work for our next proto, OSH Park, since they're nice. Oh no, I was gonna get them through. I looked at them, and they only allow a 7 mil annulus on a 2-layer board on the holes. I need a 4.
They're not supposed to allow slot cutting, but they do.
No, that's different. That's not a slot. A slot is
Or-
plated slot. Plated slot.
Non-plated.
Yeah, they'll do non-plated, but they won't do plated slots.
No, they will not.
However, they will do plated slots. You just have to know how to format your data right.
Really?
Yes.
Do tell.
Still not 100% sure. My friend's done it because we were talking about that. Because I have, because you know, see, these are slots. That's a slot.
Yeah.
Plated slot.
Through a plated slot, yeah. So
Oh
there
yeah,
was
that thing. Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
There was a couple older versions of this mod using different one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the part I've used a lot of. I thought that part was familiar. The 3383. Yeah. 74 CBT 3383. Yeah. Yep, that's exactly it. I just didn't think that was it because I didn't think there was enough pins. I didn't think it switched enough pins. But it must.
10-bit.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a dual 5. Mm-hmm.
I think there's some that's not even used.
Yeah, well, it's only 8 bits. Yeah, this part is really cool because it will level translate too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, bus switching or exchanging. Mm-hmm. Yep. I have used that part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look at if you put a 5-volt signal into this part, it'll come out at about 3.5 volts because of those FETs. I don't know if it'll say that anywhere on there, but it does that. Oh, that's cool.
What?
That was the part you used. I thought that's what it was. I had a theory.
Something else I was trying to do is to use Google Plus a little bit more.
Oh yeah, I've never used it.
Today was my first post other than automatically posting about my videos.
Mm-hmm, that's what mine does.
And I said that you were coming down and we were going to look at some
Oh yeah, that's cool.
live stuff. And
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't get any replies or nothing. I don't know if it got out or...
Well, you may only have like 5 people in
Well,
your
I've got
circle.
64.
Oh, 64. Uh-huh.
people in the circles, which I'm
Yeah,
assuming
not
that
sure
means
how
they
that
see
works.
that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
I mean, I know it's a little bit like Facebook, but not...
I've never used Facebook, so
You
I
haven't?
don't know. Mm-mm. I don't know much about it. Oh yeah, one thing I probably wouldn't ever do, never put a route between chip pins on the pad, you know what I mean?
not even possible on that one.
Oh, they're right there. Aren't they? They're all connected together, aren't they?
Oh.
Yeah, you should never put a route between pads like that. Because it can cause, like, bridges and stuff.
It's supposed to be bridged.
I know, but if you're inspecting it, you may not know that. You know what I mean? Like a board stuffer. So.
So should I route them out?
You should route them out
Just put
like a U shape. Or just make a bar and connect.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a little tip if you want one. If not,
because they're going to assume that it's a route coming out from the nut to the next pad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that a couple times on this board. You can't really see it though because of the white solder mask. One thing I'd like to try is clear solder mask sometime. I think that'd look really cool.
Well, it looked like your other.
My bare boards.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it looked like all glossy looking though, and you would see the bare copper, so it'd be like copper colored traces.
That would be kind of cool.
I think it'd look really cool because FR4 itself is like yellowish color usually, so I think it looked kind of neat. Because you could still have your legend.
Does anybody do it?
I think some people do it. Haven't really looked into it much, but the one thing I did like about this one was I can get this white with the black because I think that looks really nice too.
Appropriate.
Yeah. My layer stack up looks pretty good. You can see that on there. But yeah, I've had absolutely no problems with that board. It's flawless.
And that's still around though, right? The NAND computer?
Oh yeah, I was going to make more videos on that. You know what my goal on that NAND computer? I want to get it on the internet.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I want to have like a really basic text adventure game that you can log in and play. I thought that'd be really cool.
One of the things that we really didn't get to talking about too much, which I wanted to, was all of my subs knowing about all of the threads and Kevtris' YouTube videos. So I kind of want to put this in here and possibly annotate links to his YouTube page. Definitely sub to him and go watch the videos there. And then we've got 5 or 6 forum threads, and I'll try to get links to those as well.